world. Hello. Alright, well, I think we could all use a bedtime read. Am I right? Again, ever tries. Baby's cold sore is almost done, but it looks ratty as fuck. It is what it is, folks. We just have to show up. I can only do what I can do. But I do apologize. That's not how I'd like to roll. Okay. Well, how's everyone doing out there? Okay. Well, I really... Ugh, what is on this table? Jesus. Drive me crazy with all those crumbs. Okay. Not mine. Let's pull a couple Kimmy K's to start off with. I really feel like we could use this flavor myself. Do I have anything to report in this moment? Well, technically yes, because I always have a million things to talk about. But in this moment, I'm just gonna be the driver tonight. I'm just gonna be the driver. Spirit's gonna take us where we need to go. I'll chime in as I do. Oh, the medallion. Okay. Well, before we continue, let's call in those crowd favorites. God, Jesus, Grandma, Buddha, Archangels, all ascended masters, all of my benevolent ancestors, and anyone that you're working and praying with, other than the devil. Okay, Grandmama. Grandmama, I think we could all use some of your love and light here. What does the collective need to hear or know right now? What would we like to talk about? Okay, oh, well, look, we're off to a great bedtime reading. We have the dead end and we have the mother. Ooh. Here we are with the medallion. Well, already I'm seeing... Ooh, sorry for the froggy voice there. I'm already seeing... Oh, this hand reaching out of that dead end, reaching for this medallion. No, are we good with 3? One more. One more. So we have a nice firm foundation here. Okay. Grandma. Let's just pull one more. This one? Oh my god, look at this. Hands. The hands on this one. Oh, so much reaching. Oh, from the desert to the dead end. I don't know if I need to be psychic to say there's a bit of a mother vibe here. It seems to come up a lot in these readings. Well, what do you do? Oh, look on the bottom here. Jesus. Look at all these hands. Hands, hands, hands. Okay. Well, let's read about it. And let's talk about it. We'll pull some cards about it. Actually, before I read on it, you know what? We need some animal spirit just to see, like, I don't know. Let me do a little quick shuff. Yeah, can't hurt. All right, Grandmama. Okay. Well, for one, let's get some cards on your energy, collective, because I can tell you right now, well, we'll pull some cards to see whose energy, but if we got a mother energy with all this, like, just desert and the dead end, doesn't feel very nice. We don't know, but let's just pull some cards. Okay. Grandma. Let's pull some cards. 3 cards for collective's energy. What animals represent them right now? That's this one. Oh, we have bat. Yes. What's this guy? Oh, look at you, little Bucky Beaver. Cute. Cute. Oh, 4. Oh. Well, I'm am seeing shark on the bottom, but look how cute he is. He's smiling. Yeah, he's just trying to smile. He's smizing. He's trying to smile with his eyes the best that he can. Yeah, he's like me. He's not, like, look at his teeth. They're all kind of fucked up, but he doesn't matter. Yeah, just like my teeth are all fucked up. He doesn't care. Yeah, he's beautiful. Oh, and then we got dragon. Are we doing 6? Okay, I'll take 6 for you. And we'll do 6 for the other one. Oh, wow. Okay, so you're also butterfly, or sorry, not butterfly, dragonfly and bunny. Well, there's definitely something here about listening, because with the bat tooth sonar, I'm seeing that you are a good listener. Again, I was just talking about this in the other reading about, for a lot of people, the art of communication is really lost. I even put myself in this kit. Like, we're not always going to hit Babe Ruth, you know, knock it out of the park every single time. We're always evolving, but, you know, listening is such a huge part of communicating. Let me have a sip of water about it. Sorry, guys, I'm extra thirsty today. All this walking and being alive on this earth right now creates a real thirst. Well, let's see who's paired up here. Okay, well, look at you. You're a little bat to the beaver. Yeah, there's something here about being paired up with your qualities. So, bats, they don't see very well, but they have sonar. So they feel see. Ah, very much like me. Yeah, it's like with all my different clairs, but sometimes it's like seeing a feeling and then trying to explain it can be sometimes challenging, to say the least. But I also feel like this is also around trust and faith. Flying in the dark, lots of things going on, but trusting your gifts and abilities that the good Lord has given you to find your way, to navigate. Yeah, the ways in which you navigate the world are different than most, I would say. So again, you might also be psychic. Oh yeah. And I feel like this is also like listening to spirit. I don't think I'm the only one that says, but it's true. The divine teams, they tend to like to whisper, which can really drive one crazy, you know? We're already on a planet that, as people purport from the other side, it's dense as fuck down here. The veil is thick. We can't seem to remember where we come from, which is source, the God self. So, and with little Bucky Beaver here, this being of land and water, yeah, there's something about needing both too. Like, you know how to navigate different worlds, different elements, but you need both. Like a beaver needs to go cut down those trees, drag them all around. Actually, I just saw a cute reel. All this traffic was stuck because a beaver was dragging this big ass tree across a highway. Oh man, nothing made me more proud than that little beaver. He didn't give a fuck. He was like, I got business to do. And you know what? Everyone stopped for him. You might have, I do. I've got little horse chiclets right here, these front teeth. You might have big front teeth like myself. And hey, I love these little chompers. I'm not mad about it. Yeah, there's something here about teeth. I fought to not have braces. I know that seems crazy. You might even not like my teeth, but you know what? I love my teeth. I fought for these bad boys. I didn't want perfectly straight teeth. And in fact, when I need dentures, which could be soon, I want to get an actual bite down and make a mold of these teeth so that my dentures are actually the way my teeth are in my face. I don't want perfect teeth, and not that I'm mad about perfect teeth on other people. I love mine. So maybe you're like me. Maybe, quote unquote, you have imperfect teeth, or I don't know, I've got these little horse chiclets right here, but you don't care. You're smiling anyways. Yeah. Hey, and even a beaver, or, oh God, the rabbit, little bunny rabbit, little front teeth. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's beautiful. Yeah, and you got a tail that slaps. Okay, but then look at these little, again, what some would consider cold. Nope, beauty queens right here. I love them. I love a dragon. I love me a shark. I do. So there might be also something about your constitution, because they're powerful. That's what it is. Man really hates a powerful creature. We've killed a lot of wolves. We've killed whales. We've killed sharks. Yeah, anything that has a presence, including the female, we just, go after it. So there's something quite striking and intimidating about your presence and power. And it might rub people the wrong way. Trust me, I'm the king of that. Like I said, I'm not for everybody. Just like Moses, I part those seas. You're either team me or you're not. Yeah, most people don't love sharks. That's okay, but you know who does? I do. See, there's always going to be someone. You can't be a nobody when you're somebody to me. Just like those sharks. Those sharks will never be a nobody because they're somebody to me. Okay, moving along. Dragonfly. 2 quick-moving creatures. Again, but now we have like an air element with earth. So we have earth, fire with that dragon, but also could be seen as air because it flies in the air. Okay, so we have a lot of earth, air. Yeah, earth and air with a little bit of water. Very nice. Okay. Well, dragonflies have the highest success rate for killing. In terms of being a predator, like, their success rate of eating up mosquitoes in particular, but like, yeah, some scientist did some study, and anyways. So, not only are you good at hitting the mark, like your success rate, whatever that is, but when you think about rabbits being lucky, you're like a weird mix of like success due to your own natural gifts and abilities of hitting the mark, but with rabbit being fortuitous and lucky, but also like rabbits are sensitive, right? They can sense, they hear, and they're a little bit nervous, but they're fast, as are dragonflies. Okay. Let's read the energy from the Kim K, and then we'll pull cards to see what this energy is about, to see like what are we dealing with, and then we'll pull some tarot cards. Yeah. But you know what? So far, you're just beautiful, your energy. And I'm sorry if you have a terrible mother. Let's look into it. We'll start with the medallion. 183. Let's do it. The medallion, the amulet, the talisman, the heirloom. The passing on of sacred objects is an ancient ritual within families. Okay, before I forget, there's some kind of heirloom on the maternal side. So it could be a piece of jewelry from your mom, or there's something here around a family heirloom that's very important to you. Maybe it's being withheld from a parent, the mother. It doesn't have to be, but there is a lot of matriarch here. Yeah. Okay, we'll continue. Within families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe, We gift jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and mementos of all kinds, some of great material value, others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. Yet when these gifts are bestowed upon us, it is important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. Okay, hold on. Oh, for some it actually may be like something with a pearl. Yeah, pearls tend to come up sometimes in those family heirlooms. Let's continue. Excuse me. When the medallion card appears, be aware of how the objects you hold dear may be embedded with unconscious energy or expectations. Oh, it just occurred to me, I only own one belt. The belt that I own, I've had since I was 19. I bought it in Edmonton, Alberta, when I was on a plumbing job. I was working for this contractor dude. He was a terrible human being. Anyway, we had to go to this plumbing shop, and my pants were falling down, and they were driving me crazy, so I bought this belt. But thinking about how I've worn this belt through every terrible time from 19 until now, anyway, food for thought. Maybe you have an item. Maybe just like me, you're like, oh my god, maybe it needs a bit of a cleanse. Maybe you need to like part with it. I don't know. Let's continue. Materials hold consciousness, and it's time to reconcile the vibration of the objects around you. What do you covet and collect? Why? Is there an object you have held on to for years that you're ready to release? Perhaps it is time to reach for the medallion that aligns with your deepest values. Yeah, I just realized that like I have some of my grandfather's watches, and to be honest, my grandfather wasn't a great man, and I didn't really have an affinity for him. I have a couple sweet moments. There's some things that I can appreciate, but like, to be honest, I don't know why I'm holding on to his watches. Yeah, this is for me too, guys. In this moment, I'm like, oh, yes. Do you believe that objects contain supernatural properties? When have you experienced this to be true? Imagine if you and your family, school, or social group had a crest, an emblem, or amulet. What would it be? Draw it. Okay. Now, the next card was the dead end. We'll read in the order that we pulled. Dead end? Where are you? Oh, there you are. 143. The closed door, the final chapter, the impasse. Contrary to what its name implies, the dead end is very much alive. It is a force that stops us from moving forward as planned. Interesting. I've never thought of it that way. And I know I've pulled this card, but for some reason, this line is standing out. It is thick, dense, and uncompromising. A wall beyond all walls. With every bramble, thorn, and stone, it simply states, "No more, child. You have reached the last page of this chapter." Ooh, that made me want to cry. It is natural to resist its very resistance and struggle even harder to make our way, to prove our point, to hold on to what was. In this way, we fight with life itself. From a mythic perspective, the end you face is very much a beginning. There are doors opening all around you, just not the one you planned on walking through. Isn't that so true? I don't know why, guys. Everything is very I'm feeling it all today. Let's just say that. And so far, these cards are really like ring-a-ding-ding. If you are honest and courageous enough to accept, adjust, and adapt, the dead end becomes known as life's beginning. Yes. Note that in most stories and movies, the moment the protagonist reaches the dead end, something riveting happens. You are the protagonist. Reflect on dead ends in your past that led to unimaginable wonders. The moment you accept the ending, a feeling of grace will arise. Doors begin to open, both inside you and in the world. Okay. Well, there's definitely so far a theme of like letting go, getting stuck, old energies. Okay, the desert. Let's do this. 137, okay. Here we go. The drought, the wasteland, the badlands. The desert leaves us disoriented, desperate for direction, grasping for meaning, longing for solid ground. For endless miles, we are confronted with a lack of clarity and existential dread. We are thirsty. Yeah, I'm so thirsty. Preach. Hungry, always. Pleading with life to get back to normal, to become animated by the simple pleasantries of day-to-day life. The desert offers no such comfort, and all must pass through it. If you can embrace the discomfort of the desert, knowing you will someday reach water again, you can tap into the potent energy of the landscape. Its lights are blindingly bright, and its darks terrifyingly deep, which makes for unbridled creativity and clairvoyant visions. Truths reside in the desert that otherwise remain hidden. The crows, the shadows, and the coyotes' calls surround you. Let the winds and sands work their deep magic, wary traveler. When in the throes of the desert, contemplate the following. You are not alone. You have more supplies with you than you think, and water is very near. The desert is alive and pulsing with energy despite its desolate appearance. Turn toward it rather than away from it. Well, there's definitely this emphasis on like very extreme landscapes where, again, the flavors are being bereft, being completely isolated and stuck. And with those types of feelings, you just know you're probably going to be mad as hell because you're lost, you're disoriented, nothing's moving, nothing probably feels great. Things may even feel hopeless. And yet, I can only speak from my own experience, but as they describe that, this and that are true, at least for me. I know these landscapes myself. And I spoke about this before with thinking about things that I fear, and sometimes confusing being uncomfortable with like being afraid. But what I know to be true is that, especially with the dead end, and it's a nice contrast. This is why I love Kim K, but to think about it as like its own force. This is an energy. And just like things like mosquitoes, like everything has a purpose in this life. Nothing is by accident. And yes, it can be more than uncomfortable, more than unpleasant, totally scream-worthy. And yet, I agree. And I've been to the desert, and I grew up in some of the harshest climates, like parts of the Northwest Territories of Canada like where it's only fly-in, less than 300 people, polar bears, food that comes in on a barge, everything's canned, and everything's really hunted because there is no food. And yet, just like the Inuit, it's teeming with life. You just have to master and understand the elements of what you're working with. And that also requires, again, a curiosity, being interested, being willing. Instead of forcing your will, it's about understanding the will of the environment. And that can be challenging as humans with big egos, because you're like, you want to push through. You're like, get the fuck out of my way. I don't want to be stuck. And this energy is literally to be like, as it said, stop, my child. Well, there's definitely a connection here with past, because with this whole heirloom business, and then I'm seeing that pearl in the big den of mother snake here, because it's a nest. It's a big snake nest. Mother snake is big and curly. She's curled up around that pearl. Okay, well, let's read the mother, and then let's pull some tarot cards. Yes, please. Yeah, mama. Okay. Yeah, where are you, mama? Oh, you're the first one. 63. There we go. Oh, lips are dry. Need that water. Speaking of desert. The Great Mother, the feminine, the source. We begin our archetypal story with the mother's love. Through her sensual, fertile, and life-giving energy, all creation takes form. Regardless of our birth story, each of our hearts beat for the first time in the warm womb of the mother, where she offered resources from her body for the building of our own. Yet her tale is not so simple, as the mother, especially on the earthly plane, contains both light and dark aspects of the feminine. With the best of intentions, the mother wraps her loving arms around her creations and begins to grip what she meant to set free. The gripping and setting free. Yeah, there's something here, guys, about gripping and setting free. We'll come back to that. The mother both nurtures and prohibits growth. She gives yet clings, and creates yet restricts. Amid this complex energy, the mother holds the key to the eternal challenge of love. Notice how the mother archetype is expressed in nature. This is perhaps the most balanced and benevolent form of the mother's grace. The mother is part of the trifecta, maiden-mother crone. Because of the relationship between them, take special note when these cards appear in a reading. Okay, before we pull the animal cards for them, we're actually, and I got out the runic. Yeah, we gotta pull out the big boys on this one. The energy today, well, today's Tuesday, which is the energy of Mars, and I can tell you right now, I am there. So, and if we're gonna get into that mother, oh, who's literally falling out? Okay, well, we're gonna take a peek. It is, I just said polar bear too. Well, we have the 9 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles to the Page of Wands, but you know what? I would like to give a shove real quick. Oh, all this hand business. Can't believe that. 3 hands reaching out. Maybe you'll have 3 people reaching out to you. Because you know what? This is the thing. We're all got some suffering going on. Some more than others. But the antidote to suffering is to be of service. You know, I was walking today, and a friend of mine popped in. And so I just reached out to be like, hey man, like, how you doing over there? Like, you know, I check in, but like, it just so happened they're having a really shit day. And sometimes even just the best thing, the gift of like, just listening, of just checking in on someone to be like, I'm thinking about you. I love you. I miss you. How are you doing today? Are you doing okay over there? You know, we're living in extremely turbulent times, which is such an understatement. But like, I feel like right now collectively we're all in this, and sometimes you just need, literally, as I always say, just be the hand that you want reaching out for you. You don't need to have a, you don't need to know what is needed in a moment. I think that's what paralyzes sometimes. We feel like we don't know what to do. We don't know what the right thing to do. I'm telling you right now, as the world gets hairier and scarier, you just gotta reach out. Just picture flooding waters with people getting swept. Just reach out your hand. It can be little things, you know, giving a compliment, holding open a door, making eye contact. The world is trying to erase people, you know? Little things go such a long way in these times. So you may have 3 people reaching out to you. Maybe you have 3 friends that could really use, you know? Doesn't have to be big. You know, a little bit goes a long way these days. Okay. Grandmama. We see all these hands. There's definitely a mother vibe here. Grandmama. Can you clarify what the main, is this a person, a place, a thing? What is this for collective? Okay, I just want one card to start, please. Let's just start with one. Let's just clarify. What does the mother energy represent? Is this a relationship? Is this an actual mother? Healing. Oh boy. And you know what I love about this deck though? Look at what this healing looks like. This guy is literally bopping this motherfucker on the nose. Oh, and what did I just say about that big snake den? The big snake mother. Oh, we're doing some healing. And you know what? Sometimes healing looks like literally taking a stick and being like, you know what? I'm not a fucking doormat for every fucking abusive piece of shit on this planet. Sometimes you call your power back, and healing is just literally being like, fuck off, you know? Yeah. And look, that's what that pearl is. That's you bopping it on the nose. That's the pearl. Look at that. Look at that. Huh, that's how a pearl's created. Yeah, that little grit. The grit of healing. Yeah, eat shit. Eat shit, mama. Yeah. Healing looks a lot of different ways. Not all parts of healing are always going to be in this little flavor of eat shit. But anyone that's in this club knows that, like, every now and again, you just gotta let those little people in you, your little kids in you, the ones that had to endure, you just gotta give them a moment to be like, eat shit, mama. And then you continue to heal, and you continue to choose love, and it goes around and around, but sometimes you gotta be in this energy of healing. And look, you look great. Look at that 6-pack. Yeah. We're in that Mars energy. Okay. Okay, so we do know it's about old mama, the big snake. Yeah, the big mama snake. Mother snake, the big den. Okay. What else, Grandma? Grandmama, can you say about this? Oh, and this 2 of Swords. It's about a decision, and what we see here is that there's actually 2 bodies hanging up. They're not dead. She has to make a decision. And this is fitting for that message, right? Because it's also about letting go. And as much as this is protection, right? Like when I say part of healing is saying eat shit, but part of that is We're all animals at the end of the day. There's literally no law in the universe that says that one type of animal is allowed to be abused endlessly without repercussion, because every animal is allowed to protect itself. This person is protecting itself. Because look at this nasty piece of shit. It's coming after him. So he's like holding his own. Yeah, so sometimes healing's about that. But there is choices. Because, again, the energy of each shit, it's destructive. You want to choose your battles. And I'm always here to advocate of like, you do have to have a North Star, something to anchor into. I don't recommend rage and fury and hatred. Sometimes you need a little smattering, you know? But for the most part, it is about making a decision. And more often than not, what is most healing though is just choosing to like let some things go or surrender to the idea of like, sometimes it's just about acknowledging I see these people exactly the way that they are showing me, you know? More often than not, we want to choose to believe that there's something more behind old snake den. And to have that new beginning, you know? And the thing with like family heirlooms, and that goes for like our parents, you take the good and the bad. I've mentioned this before, but in some of my strongest, most honest, and harsh letter and verbalizing to my mom, I've also thanked her. And it wasn't, you know, and I thanked her first, where I said, like, you know what? I can acknowledge that there has been a lot of good in amongst the fucking terribleness of who you are. Same with my bio dad, you know? There's just things where, like, same with my son's mom. I have a lot of beautiful memories, and these people have gifted me with things. So seeing both the pearl, but also the things that we hold on to that also don't serve. At the end of the day, you just gotta ask, like, do they have what I want? And if they don't, you can just kind of keep it simple and then move in the direction of people, places, and things, energies and entities that exemplify, embody, personify the things that you want, the things that you believe in, and the things that you subscribe to, you know? Okay. So what do you need to make a decision about? Let's just get a little bit snoopier on that. Oh, yeah. This is the exact energy that I'm feeling today. This is exactly that feeling of Mars, of burning up asses. So you're making a decision. But for me, this feels like calling your power back and just being like, we're fucking done. We're fucking done. Mm-hmm. Well, and it's funny, because there's two people, and there's two people. Okay. Tell me about the two people. Oh, do you have two ratty snakes? Oh, it's a sibling. Old mama. So, guys, if you're not part of the personality disordered club and you're sick of hearing it, I get it. But you know what? There's a lot of us in the crowds that have lived it, who know it, or live in it, whatever. And it does. It goes on for a while. But I'm gonna say, yeah, this seems to be, and this was probably like the golden child sibling. Oh yeah. But you know what? Those two can have each other. And you know what's so great though? Is that the Four of Cups, it is morose. There is a sadness here, but you know what I love about him though? He's unbothered. He is sad. But even in body language, this is a power move. When you are confident to like lean back with your arms up, it's an alpha move, it's a confident move. Yeah, so you're confident, I'm telling you, and telling these two people to eat shit and to walk away. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck how many cups are filled with this bloodline. You're like, no, you're done. Yeah, you don't have what I want. Beautiful. Okay, well now that we know it's mama energy. Okay, so here, I'm gonna get 3 for the mom energy and 3 for what feels like a sibling, or whoever's associated with your mom, but it feels sibling because of that little foal, or fool, as we should say. Look who's back out. Oh, mother snake. And not the good snake. There's great snakes. They're little beauty queens. Oh, wow. Old mama showed up 3 times as a snake. Okay. Grandmama, let's get another card for old Snakey. You know I love a panther, but this energy, 9 million out of 10, terrible. Wouldn't recommend. Wouldn't recommend ever coming back. Oh, God. And we're in Scorpio season. I'm really sorry. I know a lot of us have shit parents or caretakers or someone. We all get them. Someone in our lives, but like, the mother wound, oh, she runs deep. Well, like a good narcissistic parent, personality disordered, green with envy. Yeah. They're envious of you. What else is new? Very vengeful. Very reactive. Very nasty. But this explains your sonar. This explains your gifts, that hypersensitivity, and also why you were probably, just like how the shark is hated, you were made to feel that you were cold and something wrong with you and ugly and unlovable, and you know, I love sharks. I do. There's a beautiful documentary about the shark whisperer, and when you see him hold these sharks, it's moving. Now, mind you, if I had to get in the water with sharks, I have not mastered my fear. I'd be shitting bricks, but from here, I do technically love them. I do. And going back to your energy, and I noticed this because old mama shows up as the snake, but you are the dragon. And what was your other card? Yeah, you're a dragon. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it. I love it when the cards talk like this. Okay, so who's your shitty sibling? Oh, shitty siblings. Yep. Oh, fire ant. Oh, wow. Look at this family dynamic. Well, no wonder you're in the desert, the dead end, reaching for a medallion, but really it's like, oh. Yeah, just eat you up alive. Look at them all. That's the thing, you just can't shake them off of you. Yeah, I'll eat you up alive. Oh, okay. Well, Grandmama, let's get 2 more for this sibling. Raccoon. I do love raccoons. Owl. Well, baby raccoons. When I was in Toronto, when I was with Pisces' girlfriend at that time, we had this place in the east end of Toronto, and Pisces' girlfriend had a cat named Mitz. And we went out, and the parent raccoons, there was a whole family that lived in our backyard, and the parents had just had a fresh new batch of baby raccoons, and they were pretty spry. They were pretty chubs, just like this guy. And so what the parents would do is they would stand watch, but they would get the baby raccoons to do all the hard work. So, hand to God, this is literally, we walked in on all of the baby raccoons, because we had this heavy sliding glass door. Like, it took a lot of effort. These babies, it was amazing. They clambered on top of each other, and they all took their paws, and then they all pushed together at the same time to open it enough to get to the cat food. But what I'm seeing here is just like how the parents, it's like classic family dynamics with an MPD parent, but that triangulation, but getting the child to do the dirty work of the parent. Like, that's what I'm hearing. So this sibling does the dirty work of the parent. Because also you have to remember, like, raccoons are a social creature, and it's a family unit. They work together. But just like the golden child, family member, there's, the black sheep, which is usually the truth teller, which is then gets created into the empath. The empath and the golden child, which in my opinion, I also think has a high probability of also becoming personality disordered and following in the NPD steps. Just putting that out there as a thought. But at the end of the day, both are just choices on how to survive abuse. Like, on one hand, my sister and I grew up in the same environment. I know parts of my sister's story, and I understand now. We both make choices. I just made different choices, but both are around survival. And I think that the child who makes a decision to follow in that path, like, I understand it. And and going back to animal kingdom stuff, it's like creatures will pick the path of least resistance for the most part. And sometimes the easiest way is to join forces. So that's how I'm seeing your sibling. With Owl, this to me says that they do know better. Some people don't know any better. I do believe that. I think that there are some people who are broken, like a rabid animal, but they don't know better. Like my stepdad, for instance. Total psychopath. He's the one that you could read about in the papers, the things that the one main incident that he was caught for and went to trial for. But because I know parts of his story, and for the time that he grew up in, and religious factors and all the things, I would say that, like, he literally, to an extent, did not know any better. Whereas, like, people like my mother, who's a trained therapist, as she likes to fucking brag about, absolutely knows better. My sibling knows better. So with Owl being here, your sibling knows. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing. And that's why they can eat shit. And that's why I see you walking away. Oh my God, the snakes in the hands. I think those hands are slapping those snakes. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God, we're at an hour? 50 minutes? Oh my God. Okay. Grandmama, take us out. So what is the advice for collective on this energies? Well, the Seven of Pentacles, this is actually the guy who is justice, and we've talked about this. Hold on, I got the thing. I can remember what this one is called. Chihuahuas. And, hold on. Let's read about it. Seven of Pentacles. Because it will talk about Chihuahuas. Hold on, where's the part where they do talk about Chihuahuas? Oh. Anyways, it's a powerful rune. It's usually around law and justice and like triumphing, victory, success. But with this Seven of Pentacles, I'm going to read it since it's here. The Seven of Shields displays the might of a great leader and warrior. Each one of the 7 shields on the wall belong to a different warrior from another clan. Oh yeah, going back to like, but things holding energy. And then remember the crest? Maybe you need to create and imbue something with energy, whether it be protection. Let's read on. Strength, healing. Yeah, it's time to like maybe go through your stuff and see what holds onto old energies and then find something new and just imbue it. Or maybe there's someone in your life who exemplifies strength, you know, strength personified, that indestructible kind of nature, magnitude, immensity. Picture something or find someone, and then if there's a way to have an object, or maybe there's a mountain that you live by, a mountain that to you, again, exemplifies and holds that energy of being indomitable. And so perhaps you go and you just get like a little piece of stone from it. Oak tree, like, yeah, there's these things that you could work with. Yeah, my voice is going. Okay, hold on. They have taken a single shield as a souvenir, a reminder of what it took to win that day. Each shield is a personal triumph. They remind the Jarl, J-A-R-L is the spelling, how to continue blending the desires of the clan with the might of the warrior. Remembering the past battles and what they took to win helps this leader understand how to sustain their way of life for future generations. This is a time of reflection and celebration for what they have. Celebrate your achievements. If you've walked away and you survived your family and you have a bit of humanity, you know, left in you, and you want to do better for yourself, like, please do yourself a favor and acknowledge the magnitude of that. Okay? Okay. Couple last cards here. What else? What else does collective need? Queen of Swords. Exactly. Those are those come hither fingers, but that to me is like, you want to fuck around? You want to know the truth? You're going to get the truth. You want to fuck around? You're going to find out. Yeah, she doesn't look scared at all. Yeah, speaker. Oh, look who we got. Who came out? Justice. This is exactly it. And creating, yeah, there's something here about creating something for yourself. There needs to be, we're symbolic creatures. Even if it's processing your gift. I say too, like, I love working with fire. You have to give containers, and we're symbolic. So whether it's in releasing something, creating something to make us feel, again, indestructible, powerful, something to mark those achievements. Like in the 12-step program, there's medallions for your clean time, like markers. And we've lost these things for the most part. And it's important because your story and your journey is important. Even if no one else acknowledges it, your worth, your merit, just by you existing, just because people may have failed to see you or to protect you or defend you or love you, does not negate your holiness, your divinity. Because I absolutely, with all of my heart, believe this, that as God's people, we don't crawl before anyone. Every single person on this earth is worthy of all the things that this earth offers. There's no one that is better than you. There's no one below you. I don't care what your body looks like, your mind, you're perfect. And we all are worthy of justice, of love, of the basics: clean water, food in our bellies, basic fundamental human rights. And you deserve to be seen. Because again, I talk about a lot. The biggest soul crusher is to not be seen, to be erased, to be made feel than less than. And you're not. And that's just the way it is. One last card, Grandma. 5 of Cups. To be honest, I feel like that's old Mama. I feel like that's Mama Snake. Maybe the sibling. Yeah, who is this? I do feel like you've for sure, you've been healing. There's despair, but I don't. Oh, death. Wow, wow, wow. Who's this? Oh my God, there's endings. It's nothing but endings. The dead end. We have the world to death. And what did that card talk about? With every ending, it's the same tale. You get bitch slapped. There's an ending, but there's absolutely a new beginning. And I think this is old Mama and sibling. Okay. Well, on that note, wasn't quite the bedtime reading I thought we were going to do, but again, what do I know? I never know. But this energy feels very fitting. Excuse me. Well, just think of it this way. I see you, even if I don't know who you are. When I read energies and I see the story, and I do, it's not even a belief. It's like when I say that, like, you can't be a nobody when you're somebody to me. It's because I know what it's like to be invisible. I know what it's like to be erased. I know what it's like to be crushed by people who are obsessed with destroying other people, And I really believe in my whole heart, including these people, because it is the erasure, it is the belittling, and this weird hierarchy that we have, how we value people, how we value time and labor, and it's just fucked. And that's why I'm always going to root for the underdog, because I am the underdog. And it's always been that way, that when people experience atrocities, if you manage to keep your heart intact, you will always champion for the people who experience the same things that you did, because you know how fucking terrible it is. And when you've been in the spiritual game long enough, there's also other truths where I'm like, yes, I do get a little fussy with the mother energy myself. By the end of the day, my own spiritual receipts, though, say at the end of the day, we all come from God. Hence why, as God's people, we don't crawl before anyone. Do I believe that there's certain behaviors and pathologies that could do some revamping? Absolutely. But like, you will never be less than anybody. So if anyone makes you feel like shit, just know you're not below anyone. You're just as beautiful, you're just as worthy, and these people can eat shit. Okay, now, I think we all need to get tucked in, so we'll just take that energy, bring it down Charlie Brown, because we do. We want to get tucked, we want to get peaceful. Okay, so let's, yeah, we just need a little kiss on the forehead, you know, a little on the forehead. Let's get tucked. Grandma, let's bless everyone. Okay. I hope everyone has a really great sleep tonight. Tomorrow's a new day. You just need to do the best that you can in a moment. And sometimes it's going to look different. But you got this. Yeah, you got this. Stay blessed, stay golden out there. Good night.